What's up, traders? It's Robson Hayashida here. And first of all, I'd like to apologize for not publishing videos for a long time. I was kind of busy with work and the life. Uh, but now I came back and I'm going to talk about the difference of when we should wait for a retrace back to the 25 WGT or we should wait for a retrace back to the Dragon. Um, This is an intermediate level, advanced level class. So if you are not familiar with PVSRA, I recommend that you go back to my other videos, watch my past videos on PVSRA, and take it from there, and then come back to this one. So this video, once again, I'm going to talk about the difference between the 25 WGT, when you should wait for a retrace for that WGT, and when you should wait for a trace back to the Dragon. So first of all, let's see what the 20 WGT is. So here you have a chart. It's a live chart. It's happening right now. So you can see the 25 WGT here. So what is this 25 WGT? This is this light, can you see this light blue line here? Okay, so this light blue line is the 25 WGT. What does it mean? So the 25 WGT is the linear. Okay, so WGT is the linear. Can you guys see this? Let's change the format. Okay, much better. So it's the linear weighted, okay, the linear weighted moving average. Okay, and what does it mean? Yeah, so basically, when you say W25 WGT, it's going to uh, it's going to consider more the recent data on the bars. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So 25, it gets the last 25 bars. So or candles, well, or here like candles. So it gets the 25 last candles. Okay, and for example, for this one, this last candle here is going to do this. It's going to multiply. Okay, so it's going to multiply this candle. Okay, so this is going to multiply by this value. So you have a value here. Okay, let's just write like something like this. Okay, and then it's going to add the second last candle is going to be 24 multiplied by something something something. Okay, and so on. Okay, so 23 multiplied by something something something. Okay, and so on. Okay. Oh, actually, this should be. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It can be anything. Okay. So what it means here that so the last candle is going to multiply by 25 plus the second last candle by 24 plus the third last candle by 23. Okay. So it puts more emphasis on the on the most recent data. Okay. And is going to divide. Okay. So this divided by the sum of multipliers. Okay, so this is going to be divided. Okay, this slash means divided. Okay, by the sum of the multipliers. So 25 plus 24 plus 23 and so on. Okay, so this is what it's going to do. So after this calculation, we get this beautiful light blue line here. Okay. And what is the dragon? The dragon, as I explained to you guys, I think you guys are already tired because every time I explain. So the dragon is this beautiful dark blue line with two bands. Okay, the upper band, the lower band, and the middle line here. Okay, so this is the dragon. It's basically the 50 EMA, 50 exponential moving average. Okay, so Now the question of this video, when should we wait for a trace back to the 25 WGT and when it's going to retrace back to the dragon? So in order to answer this question, the best thing to do, and this is not absolute science, okay? It's not absolute science, it's based on probability. So what I do every time is by observation. So when you see here, you see a retrace, okay, that was here. So you see that the overall move is bearish. So you see a push down, a huge push down here, right? So you see a huge push down that broke the previous low, okay? Followed by another red candle here, okay? And then what you can see here is a retrace back to the dragon. So you retrace back to the dragon. So it didn't retrace back to the 25 WGT. It retraced all the way back to the dragon. So whenever this happens, I can see by observation that the previous one also retraced back to the dragon. So I can imagine that the next one will also retrace back to the dragon, which, which in this case it didn't. So that's why I'm telling you guys, it's not an absolute science. So sometimes it doesn't, all right? So, but I would imagine that it would retrace back to the dragon. Another example is if you look at here, you look at euro yen pair, okay? So you see that there was a huge push up here and then a retrace back to the 200 EMA, which can happen, okay? And then you have another push up here and another retrace back to the almost back to the 200 EMA, okay? So I can actually expect this will go back to, well, we did. I was about to say that. So I was about to say that this is going to retrace back to the 200 EMA and actually did. So yeah, that's it. So another one is dollar yen. So you see that here, you trace it back to the 25. It didn't actually, it didn't. Yeah, it almost did. And here we trace it back to the dragon, okay? Here's retracing back to the 25 WGT. So actually, my conclusion today is that my observation doesn't really make that much of a sense. Because what I was telling you guys is that you can somehow predict it by observing, but it's not really the case because sometimes it retraces back to the 25 WGT and sometimes it retraces back to the dragon here. So what you can do? What you can do is I also look at the M15 and M5. I think by looking at this, it makes more sense because you can somehow calculate that, for example, in this case, I see on the M5, right? I see two green candles and then it move a little bit up. So actually, I can say that this will trace back to the 25 WGT some point here because when it retraces, the 25 WGT will probably be somewhere here. So I can predict that this is going to retrace back to here and then go up. So if this matches the dragon on M1, so somehow this will probably retrace all the way back to the dragon to then make another push up. This is how I see the charts. And let's go back to euro yen. You know, guys, when this is happening. This is actually very bad. You don't really, really have a clue. Actually, it's not really moving that much because if you see a key level here, but you cannot see the next or the previous key level, which means actually this for us looks like a huge move, but actually no, it's very small. Whereas if you go to this one, you can see it more clearly. Like this chart is much more clear than this chart. This chart is kind of very difficult to understand what's going on, right? When you look at this chart, it gives you a much better idea what about, well, of course I'm talking about PVS array. So if you trade using previous area, if you look at this chart, it's much easier to understand where price is going rather than this other chart, right? So if you look at dollar yen, oh, this as well. So this is much easier to understand, and we are about to start the London session in 2 minutes. Okay, so what I can see here is price has been going like hell, like up. So of course we are waiting for a retrace, and probably that retrace will go back to the dragon, I guess, because it's being, yeah. Another thing is that you use your common sense as well, because this is going all the way up to here, right? And you need, since we're going to start the London session, so you need a retrace. Is either going to retrace back to the dragon, or is going to give all the way like a huge jump to the upper side. But I don't think so. I still think that this is going to retrace back to the dragon to then make a new move up. Okay. And why am I saying this? Because when I look at this chart, right, I see this going all the way up, but I see this losing a little bit of momentum, started to lose on M15. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So can you see this kind of trend here? So you see a trend that is going from like this trend, and can you see this one, two, three? So I imagine this is going to do another push down, right? So this is going to do not push down, but a retrace. It's going to do a retrace back to somewhere here and then go up again. Okay, I think you guys can also see that. So based on that, on M1, I'm looking for a retrace. I think this is going to retrace again. I think this is going to retrace more than the 25 WGT actually. Sometimes it doesn't, but I think so. And okay, so I'm gonna stop the video now as the London session started. So I'm going to start my trades for today. And sorry once again for not publishing videos for a long time. And I wish you guys very profitable rest of the week. Goodbye.